Hey Tealings! I'm actually gonna, for once, or at least this week, upload a Tealing Tuesday video on Tuesday. First things first, I changed my hair up a bit. I don't know if you can, it's kind of crap lighting in here, but yeah. It's kind of, flame looking. I decided I need a bit of a change. And it makes me happy. And also, I just realized it matches my ears that I'm wearing, so, woo! I'm gonna be talking about kind of a sort of weird topic, but a topic very, very, very close to me, and basically a huge impact and kind of a part of my everyday life. It's even basically what I'm going to school for, and it's a part of my major, and so, I'd also be interested in, to hear what you guys think in the comments, so please let me know. Of course, please don't be rude. Also this video might be long. I don't know how long it is, so hang in there. I can't talk. I need tea. Whoa! Oh god. I almost spilled. I apologize. I'm gonna be talking about, as the title obviously suggests and says, is basically, does school slash college kind of, basically, what's the word I'm gonna look for, kind of use, basically restrict in kind of people in using their creative expression. And what I mean by that is, I was really thinking about this today while I was in one of my classes, just because, I don't know, like, this is something I've thought about before, and it just kind of, hit me. Basically, I think that it's like, there's a difference between, like, when I say school, I can be talking about, like, middle school, high school, and college, but I say, slash college, because sometimes people consider college like a completely different thing, but anyways, so what I've noticed is that throughout my years of being an artist, I do not consider myself a professional artist, at least yet. I'm trying, to become more like one, because I want to get my stuff out there and be more professional and create my own business and basically my life work. Basically I noticed throughout, especially school, like, of course you doodle and draw and do your own thing on your own time, which is awesome and what you should do if you're an artist of any sort. One second. Sorry, so as I was saying, so you do your own stuff, outside of classes and stuff, but I noticed that in class, it's like, yes, of course, if you're in an art class, you're going to learn how to do the basics of art, like, what's the difference between shapes and forms and stuff like that. My nose looks really red, but it's not. Anyways, sorry, my brain's all over the place. And basically you learn the necessities and basically the skills slash tools that you need in order to, create art, or at least get your own style and kind of get the idea of how to, do the basics of stuff, like the color wheel, shading, line, and just a bunch of other stuff. There's just so much stuff out there, and then of course you learn about popular artists and some art history in there as well, which is very essential, especially if you're going to be an artist. You kind of have to really learn about this stuff, especially if you are a visual artist, or even nowadays it's becoming more and more popular as it is a digital artist, how it's like people, draw that, or movie posters and stuff like that. It's becoming very crucial and it's a part of our everyday lives. But outside of that, I noticed that when, especially me, I'll get to that kind of in a second, but especially when I tried to, kind of actually show my own personal style, like I do the assignment and I, wouldn't, break the rules, if per se, but I do my own style, but I do the assignment, and teachers would consider it wrong. And this would happen, and basically happened since I started taking art classes, which was back in Um, I think I took one in middle school, but mostly in high school I took a lot more art classes, I should say. And it was really frustrating because it's like I would do the work, I would think it looks really good, and I would follow the instructions, I would do what they wanted, but I do it just naturally as you draw, you kind of, or paint or sculpt or whatever it is you do, you create your own style. It just happens when you do your artwork, it just comes out, right? Well, apparently, it's like if it wasn't exactly like the teachers, it was wrong. And that's what frustrates me because it's like, isn't art supposed to be this freedom of expression? It's like, yes, you should be teaching people how to do art or how to do the basics of art, but why not let them be more expressive and basically take the tools and techniques that they've learned and apply them to like art assignments, like draw your dreams or something, or paint them. It's like I never, in all of my art classes, have really never really had that, except my ceramic class was a bit more free ranged, which that was basically the only class I've ever had, and that's why I took it for all 4 years of my high school. Why I liked that class so much. And I also liked the teacher because he was actually the only art teacher I've ever had, or really teacher in general, that's ever actually supported me in like art wise. Like I'd be like, oh, of course, it doesn't help with the way I dress, but I'll get to that once again in a second. But it's just like I'd be like, oh, I want to kind of, do this kind of gory thing. Do you maybe have a glaze for that? And you'd be like, yeah, so like what are you creating? Like a zombie teddy bear with like a giant needle or something? And I kind of, like, when I first heard that, I was just like, what? Like someone is actually, thinking outside of the box, or like someone isn't your typical teacher. And he was really cool. He was so supportive. He was actually kind of like the dad I never really had. And he was awesome. He actually was kind of one of the reasons I didn't really give up on my art. Because honestly, if I didn't have him, I don't know where I would be, especially artwork wise, or if I feel like, whatever. Why is my nose so itchy? Maybe it's because it's really cold out or something. But yeah, but it just is so frustrating because I see, and it's not just me, I've seen these other very so talented people, and like I'll tell them, myself, because I just like spreading positivity, and plus it's really nice, especially if you're an artist, to hear positive feedback. And I'll tell them like, oh my gosh, like I love what you did with the vase or whatever, so many vases, or whatever we're drawing, and they'll be like, oh, thank you, I kind of, try to put my style, and I'll be like, yeah, that's awesome. I bet you'll get like an A or something on it. And they're like, you think? And I'm like, yeah. So then the teacher comes around, and of course they like critique, and they're like, oh, that's not what I want. This is to whatever. And it's just like, it's not what they want, because it's basically not a freaking copy of their work, which their work basically came from a textbook. And it's so frustrating, because it's just like, art is supposed to be this creative thing and help bring joy to yourself and many others. And I just wish there was so much more creative expression, because I honestly feel like we're truly denied in a lot of places. And, now I'm in college, and honestly, what I even noticed, even in my high school, usually if you take a class, like if it was a drawing class, you would take it one semester or for two, and then like next year or whatever, you would be considered like an advanced art student or an advanced drawing student. And then it's like we'd basically be doing the same stuff over and over again, except the only advanced part is that instead of doing it on like a white piece of paper, it'd be on a black piece of paper. And, or like it be it on basically we'd use charcoal instead of pencil. And it's just like, okay, yes, we are using a bit of a different technique, but it's not it's not the same. And it's really frustrating, because in college that's basically what's happening. It's like, yes, I love art, but I feel so frustrated. Actually, it's drained me of making me feel creative, because it's just like we're doing the same stuff over and over and over. It's like, yes, repetitivity, or being repetitive can be good in some senses, especially if you're first beginning. you really have to just keep drawing or painting over and over again, like shapes and forms and stuff. But it's like these are people that obviously, especially if you're in the advanced art classes, that know what they're doing. It's like, give us a bit of a challenge, or please give us more freedom of expression. And it's just, it's like, yes, I understand there's like academic core and stuff. Like, let us use the skills we've learned, and just basically apply it. Like, last year, there was this, actually, it was like my first drawing class, and at the end of the semester, he actually let us kind of have a bit more of, freedom and creative expression in like our final piece. Like, he basically said, use all the tactics we've learned and apply it. And I'm just like, thank you, because for once we were finally able to show our style, what we like. And actually that kind of happened for a few of the other assignments too. But I'm sorry for my itchy nose, but it's just like, it makes me even more frustrated, because it's basically teaching kids. It's like, oh, if you think outside the box, even though you're in art, that's wrong. Like, don't do that. And it's just like, what? And then, like I was saying earlier, I think maybe it's just because of the way I dress, but I've noticed I've gotten definitely more conflict with my artwork and kind of my style, even though I'd follow the directions, like I said, but I'd take my own kind of spin with it, which is basically what you're supposed to do, right? Apparently not, because it's like whenever I go to present my artwork or like have a critique, they would basically be like, oh, like, what is that? Or kind of, it's just like, and I, explain what it is. And I do, if it was like focusing on values, I do the part of the values, but I had like, if it was in photography, I have like a mad tea party sort of set up, and I take it in black and white like we're supposed to. But apparently, because that's like, not whatever, and it's not like a vase and a shoe, it's like not correct apparently. And it's like, is art really supposed to really have a correct way to do it? It's like, for example, modern art, it's not your typical stuff. Personally, it's not my favorite thing, but it's like, they're not really following the credentials of typical art. And then if you look at, older stuff, there's a variety in ways how people showed and expressed things. And it's so frustrating. But sorry, as I was saying, going back to, when I would present stuff, I think maybe it's also to do with the fact of how I dressed, because I dressed alternative, like, / kind of goth-like. And, of course, dressing that way is, they think you're going to be trouble, but once they got to know me, obviously I'm not. I'm actually, despite what I look like, I'm a pretty damn good student. Like, I do pretty well in school. I actually got a scholarship recently, which is yay. But it's just like, I think that also has a bit to do with why I've struggled so much to get kind of some sort of, exception in this kind of school sort of like community of art. And it's so frustrating, because it's like and it's like, it makes me feel bad, or it makes me feel, worse, because then it's like, when I don't feel creatively like I can be creative, when I can express myself creatively, I don't feel like I want to draw, and it makes me feel like I don't put in as much effort. It's like, I do, but it's like not as best as I probably could, because I don't feel like drawing it. And it's not because not just that, but because it's like, it's the same stuff over and over again, and eventually it's like you get bored, and it's like, you can't show your best work, because it's not, something you basically want to do, and that kind of loses its value, and then it's like you kind of end up not applying the skills you need to. And it's just like, I feel like we need more creative expression in especially art classes, because that's what art is all about. Personally, I always think it's about expressing yourself, but of course, learning, the essentials, because it's weird. It's like, I remember the first time I really kind of learned about the essentials of like light, darks, you know, opposite colors, stuff like that, you kind of see the world a bit differently, and you're kind of like, oh, I see how the light hit this object, and then, you know, whatever. But without creative expression, it's like you wouldn't have a lot of the stuff we do today, especially, um, you know, with like movies and other things. And without creative expression, it's like you really would kind of have a bit more of a bland world. And without art in general, you wouldn't have a lot of things we do today. Like, people think, oh, if you want to become an artist, you're going to be, you know, the typical stereotype, like homeless and on the streets and, you know, hardly, you know, being able to pay your rent and stuff. But that's not true necessarily most of the time, because it's just like, literally, it's like the cups you drink out of, the ears I'm wearing, the posters, the movies you see, the billboards, the clothing. It's like literally everything we use is basically someone had to come up with that. Especially if it's some sort of design. Like, there's a lot of, like, you know, design artists sort of people and many other things, and now there's like such things as Photoshop and a lot more digital art. Personally, I'm more of a traditional artist just because I like that better. But yeah, oh god, oh my, 13 minutes and plus a few more. But yeah, I'm sorry I went on such a tangent. I'm sorry if I was all over the place with my thoughts. I had notes, but they got deleted. But yeah. Honestly, tell me what you think in the comments. As an artist, I find it so frustrating that, especially in an academic environment, you can't be as expressive. Especially now that I'm in college, you think, oh, because I'm in an advanced class, I'd be able to be more expressive. It's like, no, apparently not. And it's so frustrating. And it's like, I want to show you how good I can be. Just please let me step outside the box. Or they're basically saying like, oh, you can step outside the box. You step outside the box. No, 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 not like that. No, get back in the box. Not like that. It's just like, so sorry about the rant, but I'm sorry this was so long too. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing okay. Once again, please tell me in the comments what you think. Or also tell me in the comments what kind of stuff you want to see on my channel. I'm always loving, you know, feedback and what you guys want to hear / see. But yeah, I love you all so much. Please also stay safe. I hope you have a great day, month, year, birthday, weekend, whatever. I love you all so much. And please make sure to take care of yourself and others. Alright, so I'm gonna go. I'm sorry for this long video, but yeah, I hope this was an okay kind of topic. But yeah, bye guys. Mwah.